A long time ago, in a small village near the forest, there lived two friends, Kofi, a hard-working farmer, and Ikung, a lazy hunter. Kofi spent his days tilling the soil, planting yams, and watering his crops. He worked tirelessly under the hot sun, believing that his effort would one day bring him a big harvest. Ikung, on the other hand, avoided work. Instead of going deep into the forest to hunt, he often sat under the mango tree, eating the fruits Kofi shared with him. One day, the chief of the village announced a big feast to celebrate the end of the planting season. Everyone was expected to bring food to share. Kofi looked at his farm and smiled. His yams were big and ready for harvest. Ikung scratched his head, realizing he had nothing to contribute. "Kofi, my friend," Ikung said, "can you share some of your yams with me? I will tell the villagers I brought them myself." But Kofi shook his head. "Ikung, I have worked hard for these yams. You have spent your days resting instead of hunting. Hard work pays, but laziness does not." The day of the feast arrived. Kofi proudly carried his basket of yams to the village square. The villagers praised him for his effort, and rewarded him with gifts of millet and goats. Ikung arrived empty-handed and could only watch as others celebrated. From that day, Ikung learned his lesson. He picked up his hunting tools and began going deep into the forest. Over time, he became known as the best hunter in the village. The villagers often said, "Hard work brings rewards, and laziness leaves you empty-handed." After learning the value of hard work, Ikung became determined to show his gratitude to Kofi. He hunted diligently and brought back the best game from the forest. One day, while returning from a successful hunt, he noticed Kofi struggling on his farm. The rainy season had been harsh, and many of Kofi's crops were washed away. "Brother Kofi," Ikung called, setting down a large antelope he had hunted. "You were kind to me when I was lazy and taught me the importance of hard work. Now it's my turn to help you." Kofi smiled but shook his head. "Thank you, Ikung, but I cannot let you carry my burden. This farm is my responsibility." Ikung insisted. "Hard work doesn't mean doing everything alone. Let us join hands and rebuild." Reluctantly, Kofi agreed. For weeks, the two friends worked side by side. Ikung used his hunting skills to clear pests that had invaded the crops. Kofi taught Ikung how to plant and care for yams. Together, they rebuilt the farm, and by the end of the season, their harvest was twice as bountiful as before. The villagers noticed their teamwork and were impressed. The chief called for another feast, this time to honor the two friends. At the feast, Kofi and Ikung shared their story, teaching everyone the power of hard work and friendship. From then on, Kofi and Ikung combined their strengths, becoming the most respected farmer and hunter in the village. As Kofi and Ikung's success spread throughout the village, the chief decided to reward their hard work and unity. He summoned them to his palace and said, "Kofi and Ikung, your teamwork has inspired our people. I have a task for you. If you succeed, I will reward you with a piece of fertile land that stretches beyond the river. But if you fail, the land will go to someone else." "What is the task, great chief?" Kofi asked respectfully. "There is a hidden treasure buried in the Forbidden Forest," the chief explained. "It is said to be guarded by a cunning spirit. Bring me the treasure, and the land will be yours." The task sounded dangerous, but Kofi and Ikung accepted without hesitation. They packed their tools, food, and courage before setting off the next morning. When they reached the Forbidden Forest, they were met with thick trees and eerie silence. As they ventured deeper, the spirit appeared, disguised as an old woman. She spoke in a raspy voice, "Who dares enter my forest? We seek the treasure, wise one," Ikung replied. The spirit laughed. "The treasure is not for the faint of heart. To find it, you must solve 3 riddles. Fail, and you shall never leave this forest." Kofi and Ikung nodded in agreement. The spirit began. "The first riddle, I have roots but no leaves. I have a trunk but no branches. What am I?" Kofi smiled. "That is a yam buried in the ground." The spirit frowned but continued. "The second riddle, I run without legs, and wherever I pass, life follows. What am I?" Ikung thought for a moment and said, "That must be a river." The spirit's voice grew sharper. "The final riddle, I am not alive, yet I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. What am I?" The friends whispered to each other. Then Kofi confidently replied, "You are fire." The spirit let out a loud cry and disappeared, leaving behind a glowing chest. Inside the chest was gold, beads, and other treasures. Kofi and Ikung carried the chest back to the village, where the chief was amazed by their bravery and wisdom. True to his word, he gave them the fertile land by the river. From that day on, the friends continued working together, their wealth and unity growing stronger. The villagers celebrated them, always reminding one another, Hard work and unity make even the impossible possible. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel